Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another speed drawing where I'm going to add some commentary over top. In this episode, I'm going to be making this little hawk drawing. It's going to be done in Photoshop using Kyle's brush pack. You can pick it up on the Adobe Store if you have Creative Cloud. Anyway, this is going to be a, air quotes, pencil drawing. Alright, let's start it off. So I'm going to start off by tracing this photo I took. This part of the process is more of a familiarity practice, you know? I'm just getting more familiar, more observing the shapes and the way the shapes flow around each other and into each other and all that. It's just, you know. So this photo I actually took outside of a Staples. I was running in for something and I heard this little screeching. I look over and there's this hawk just chilling out on a hill, just screaming his little majestic head off. So luckily I had my camera and I took a picture of it. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be setting up a canvas. Now I'm just taking a regular canvas texture and I'm duplicating it and moving it around. Why I don't use the pattern overlay thing, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so now I'm just setting up some little keyboard shortcuts on my Wacom, which I'm using a Cintiq 16, by the way. Alright, so this isn't really necessary. I think to me it gives it a more realistic feel. As you can see, when you draw on top of it, you still get the texture. And I think it looks neat. So yeah, now I'm just messing around even more with the different settings of the curves and stuff like that. And I don't know. So now I'm just going to start sketching out some of the details. And I start with the mouth and the beak. And I'm just using black. And of course I'm using the pressure sensitivity of the pen to get different levels of black there. We have black and slightly darker black.
Now arrange those by color.
These are all black.
Oh, are they? Or are 5 in a dark black and 5 in a slightly darker black?
And then it's a whole process of, it's usually just repeating the step of putting down some graphite and using the smudge tool to kind of blur the lines a little bit and blend everything together. And I kind of just go back and forth, adding light, adding dark. And of course I use some white in there as well. So yeah, I'm just basically switching between white and black and then the brush and the smudge tool. So for a lot of this, I'll just kind of let it speak for itself. Just messing around with the sensitivity of the pen. Really love how customizable it is. Anyway, trying to maintain some control over my brush. So now I get back to work on the beak. I usually start with, you know, the bigger details and stuff like that, and then kind of work the fine details in there later on. Now I take the eraser. Now I take the eraser tool and just kind of clean up the lines a little bit. Using the smudge tool, you can get a lot of blurry lines. And then I go back into my brush tool and I do some more on the edges there. Now I'm getting to work on the bottom half of the mouth, and even though I traced it in the red part, it still kind of went off the mark on this one. But it's amazing to me how I can look at something and I go to replicate it and do it wrong and be like, oh yeah, that looks good, when it doesn't. Anyway. So yeah, now I'm adding some highlights after I added the black. And here's where the similarities to the original photo kind of go away. But yeah, I do end up going back and fixing it. Hey, does the top half of the beak kind of look like a happy parrot to you? It does to me. All right, now we get to the first of many passes on the eyes. Oh no, to me the eyes are really important to get right, and I don't do that right away. And you'll see me going back and forth between other parts and the eyes and just fixing things. Sometimes even just completely getting rid of what I've already done and starting over. Delete your art. Getting that brow in there. And now without doing much to the eye, I kind of get back onto the beak. I don't know, eyes frustrate me. They frustrate me so much. I'm sure a lot of artists out there can feel the same way. And hands. I can't do hands. Anyway, I'm getting the basic shading down in here, darkening up the face a little bit. Here we go with the mouth. Yep. Fixing that up a little bit. Yep, back to the eyes. So yeah, I darken up the outside of the eyes and use the smudge tool a little bit. And I, go back and forth between the actual photo and the drawing. Darkening up the eyes even more. I'm just kind of resketching it now. I don't know. Desperate to do anything to get these eyes right. It's nice, if you get an area a little too dark, you just add some light to it and blend it in. It's like I don't know what I'm doing, I don't. Now I'm getting to darkening the eyes a little bit, and I get them really dark, and just blending it all together a little bit. So now we're going to get really into it, and we're going to actually start finishing up the eyes right now. And I made them pretty dark, and then added some light in there, and then darkened up the other side, trying to give it more three-dimensional feel. Go back in with the pupil. And we're going to create some dark lines using a really thin brush. And then we're going to go in with some white and go over that just a little bit to create that variation. And of course, you got to add the little specular highlight on the eye to give it life. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. I like the way the eye turned out. All right, I guess now back to the rest of the little guy. He was actually holding a rabbit the entire time. I didn't realize it till I got one photo of him looking at the rabbit, and it's such a cool photo, but just very brutal, This little duder right here let me get very close to him. In fact, at one point I was probably only about 4 or 5 feet away, and eventually he did a little hopped away with his wings out, But yeah, he wasn't really paying too much attention to me, paying more attention to that rabbit. Now I'm fixing up the mouth shape a little bit. I think the most important thing if you're trying to learn this kind of stuff is just do it. Just do it. There's an undo button, and that's a great thing. Put down some paint, or in this case, graphite, and if you don't like it, hit undo. Get rid of it. Just do it again. Try it again. All right, so now we're getting into the back end of this, or I think it's the middle section. we're just adding some darks and lights, and that's it. Getting in, yeah, just working on those that shading, you know? Just keep working at it till it looks like something. And this is how you make a fuzzy burb. All right, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned next week. I'm gonna finish it. Hopefully. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.